Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Star Wars Forces of Destiny. This is an animated shorts series, 2 seasons, 16 episodes each season, a total of 32 episodes, each running technically around 4 to 5 minutes each. Really, after when you take out all the foreign credits and everything else, most of these episodes don't run more than 3 minutes long. So you get a whole lot of teeny tiny stories with some of your favorite Star Wars characters right in a row, just back to back to back to back. And it's scattered all over the history of the Star Wars cinematic and televised universes. Every trilogy is represented, even the independent films, not independent, but the single one-off films like Rogue One and Solo, and of course Clone Wars and Rebels are also represented in this. The only one that I think that's not touched on is Resistance, but I guess it's not as well known as the rest. But yeah, you get also, for those of you who are very well familiar with Rebels and the Clone Wars and all those animated series, all the actors from those series come back and redo their voices. And that's pretty great. We get Hera and Sabine, and I forgot to tell you, this is very female-centric. For the most part, nearly every single one of the episodes, maybe about 3, don't focus on women. This is sort of like the female hero collection right here in this series. So yeah, you're going to see Leia, you're going to see Ahsoka, you're going to see Rey, you're going to see Jyn Erso, even one episode with Kira, and you get from Solo. So you get a whole lot of different stories. They're very simple. They're very much aimed at children. And one of the cool parts about this is that it also seems to, they all seem to be made based on cut scenes from the films. They're not physically based on them, but they're some of them are kind of inspired. They kind of fill in the blanks between some of the scenes or films, such as where did Leia get the Boushh bounty hunter disguise? Now that's a story right now that will very much be touched upon, I think, in the comics, which are canon. These stories I do not think are canon in any way, but they touch on these little things, like getting the Boushh bounty hunter disguise with the help of Maz Kanata. So, and Chewie and R2 as well, but because Han Solo's in carbonite, and what are you going to do to get him back from Jabba the Hutt? Well, you're going to get that costume. And there's also more scenes with Rey dealing with Tebow, the other scavenger who's trying to steal BB-8, and if The Force Awakens, you get that. You get some really interesting crossovers, in a sense, where you see Sabine interacting with Leia, also with Jyn Erso at one point, and you get to see some classic team-ups between Padme and Ahsoka. And this doesn't mean it's just all women, of course. There's all the actors are there. Matt Lanter is providing the voice for Anakin, alongside Ashley Eckstein for Ahsoka. You're not going to get Natalie Portman doing Padme, but what are you going to do? You can't get Carrie Fisher, of course, to do Leia. But believe it or not, Mark Hamill plays Luke in at least 2 episodes. And they're not going to get Harrison Ford for Han Solo either, but what are you going to do? But yeah, when I heard when I heard Mark Hamill, when I heard Luke speaking, I'm like, and he's doing the voice from Empire Strikes Back. Like, Luke is training in the Dagobah Swamp, and I was like, wait, where are they going to find a female for this story? It's one of the first stories. Well, this is like the first or second story that had no females in it that I know of. It was just Yoda, Luke, and R2 on Dagobah. That's it. So, it's Mark is revisiting the Luke Skywalker we know from Empire Strikes Back in that scene, which was kind of neat. The other 2 non-female focused stories, one, Chopper is on Endor after the Battle of Endor. While Hera is still very much in the scene, it's not focusing on her. She's flying the Ghost. Chopper recruits some Ewoks to help out and man the guns on the Ghost. So, yeah, but it's very much a Chopper story. And the third story involves Chewie and R2 dealing with some Porgs. There are at least there's two Porg stories here. One with Rey and some Porgs, and the other one with Chewie and R2 and some Porgs, where the Porgs start stealing some cables from the Falcon, and Chewie's got to figure out, oh, how am I going to get these cables back? They won't let me near them, and they're using it to fill their nest. Well, they want some help getting some stuff to build their nest. Let's ignore the fact that Chewie had recently been eating them. So, eating their relatives, but now he's helping them build a nest. Some pretty cool things. Hondo shows up in this, as you'll recognize Jim Cummings' voice very clearly. Matthew Wood, who is very much used to voicing droids and such, like in General Grievous, he plays IG-88 in this, in at least two of the episodes. Jyn Erso, by the way, voiced by Felicity Jones in at least two of the episodes. Somebody else does her voice in some of the other episodes, but I don't remember her being in like two or three. So I don't know. Lupita Nyong'o does the voice of Maz Kanata in an actual episode that features her, but also the introduction for each episode. You get kind of tired of the same introduction every single time for the first season, so they cut most of it out in the second season. Yes, I watched all 32 episodes because they're short, and it's Star Wars, and I'm going to have to watch all of it anyway because it's me. But yeah, it's if you're just a fan of all the different worlds of Star Wars, and you got a kid who wants to see more new Star Wars stories, especially if they're little. These are not complex stories. They're not meant to be, thinkers, let's say. But it teaches simple lessons about friendship, about teamwork, and about finding solutions to problems through unorthodox ways, the ways you wouldn't necessarily expect. And they're not complicated by any means. And it also puts a focus, like I said, mostly on the women of this galaxy. And it's not just Princess Leia anymore. So yeah, we got a lot of female heroes in the Star Wars galaxy. And we're only scratching the surface. We haven't even touched the ones in the comics. So there's a lot of fun stuff in this. For those of you who are watching The Mandalorian, there is a bit of a Mandalorian scene that takes place on Mandalore with Sabine and her brother. And the Darksaber is there too. Yeah, so it's all sorts of fun. I highly recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan, of course. If not, this is not going to do anything for you at all. If you have no interest in Star Wars, this is not going to change your mind. It's not like, oh, this is game changing. No, it's just more fun stories for kids, and that's all right. Yeah, it's not going to change your thoughts on the Last Jedi or anything else. By the way, Daisy Ridley does her voice. John Boyega does his voice. I don't want to keep coming up with names if I keep rambling long enough. But yeah, it's strange that the actual actors came in and did these little bits. It's not strange, but it's rare in a lot of these cases because, it's just, you don't normally get the actors coming in and doing small mini recording things. I guess maybe they did it because, it is a series of tiny shorts as compared to a full series. So, a few extra bucks here and there in their wallet can't hurt. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
337.
Wait, didn't we just have 337? That was probably last quarter. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. This is, I think this is the first one. Yes, this is the first one. There's a series of films that were created in the whole hullabaloo of young adult novels and everybody just cranking out movies based on YA novels because of Harry Potter. Well, this is another one that came out and kind of tanked hard real fast, but it's on Disney Plus, and that means I got to watch it when it gets picked for me. I hear it might be good. I don't know. I've never watched it. This one is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. Yeah. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, the movie, on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.